The Disney Plus show Obi-Wan Kenobi is set to make its premiere on Disney Plus, and in this show, the Imperial Inquisitorius are going to play a prominent role. We've heard of them before, but this is the first time that the spotlight is going to be entirely on this mysterious gang. In this video, we'll be giving you a who's who in the Star Wars Imperial Inquisition, so let's dive in. First up, the Grand Inquisitor. Before we can talk more about the show itself, let's take a look at all of the members of the Imperial Inquisitorius. The Inquisitorius is led by the Grand Inquisitor, but before this man was an Inquisitor, he was a Jedi in the Temple Guard. Eventually, after the rise of the Empire, he played a personal role in the creation of the Imperial Inquisitorius. Every single Inquisitor today has been personally trained by the Grand Inquisitor. He is likely going to play a huge role in the first season of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the character will be played by Rupert Friend, who we've seen in such roles as George Wickham in Pride and Prejudice and Peter Quinn in Homeland. Next, we have the Third Sister. Many of the Inquisitors we're going to see in Obi-Wan Kenobi will be characters that we've seen throughout the franchise as a whole. However, there are also going to be a few new characters making their debut, and the most prominent among them is the so-called Third Sister. Not much is known about the Third Sister as of yet, but it's believed that she will be among the most ruthless characters in the entire series. She will play a huge role in the trial of Obi-Wan on the planet Daiyu, and her character is going to be played by actress Moses Ingram, who we've seen in roles such as Jolene in The Queen's Gambit, for which she was nominated for an Emmy. Now for the Fifth Brother. The Fifth Brother is a character that we've already seen in shows like Star Wars Rebels, but this is the first time we're going to see him in live action. Even though the Fifth Brother met his end during the second season of Rebels, he is confirmed to be making a return in Obi-Wan, and he's going to be played by Sung Kang, who's probably best known for his role as Han Lu in the Fast and Furious franchise. Sung Kang is ranked pretty highly on the cast for Obi-Wan, so you can expect him to have a much more prominent role than he did in the Rebels series. Up next is the Seventh Sister. The Seventh Sister is another character that will be making her return from Star Wars Rebels. In the Rebel show, we saw Seventh Sister form a close bond with the Fifth Brother, and she was seen alongside him on the hunt for Kanan and Ezra. Much like the Fifth Brother, the Seventh Sister died during the second season of Rebels, but this time she might play a very prominent role in the show. Her character is going to be played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, who you might know from her role as Daphne in the live-action Scooby-Doo or as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now on to Second Sister. The Second Sister, much like the Grand Inquisitor, is a former Jedi. Her former name is Trilla Suduri, but now she is just known as Second Sister. We actually haven't seen Second Sister in any TV show or movie so far, and we've only seen her as a character in the video game Jedi Fallen Order. Even though she'll probably play a huge role in the show, it's not clear as to who the actress behind her will be. Now for some other characters. There are going to be about a half a dozen more members of the Imperial Inquisitorius that we don't know of yet. Many of them are nameless or rumored. Some confirmed names include Ninth Sister, who we saw in Fallen Order, and the Sixth Brother, who we saw in Rebels, 10th Brother, who we saw in the comics, Fourth Sister, also from the comics, and about 4 more unnamed Inquisitors. Aside from them, there will be likely a lot more characters. All of this has fans very excited, as it's the first time the Inquisitors have been given such a large platform on a major Star Wars release ever since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. Let's just hope these characters aren't an afterthought in the grander scheme of things, considering the limited nature of the show. How many episodes will Obi-Wan Kenobi have? Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to take the same route as the last Star Wars show we had on Disney Plus. Initially, it was supposed to be its own feature-length film. However, thanks to the utter failure that was Solo, Disney decided it would be a better idea to make it go the Mandalorian route, turning it into a TV show for Disney Plus. Obi-Wan Kenobi will be a mini-series, however, which means it will only have 1 season. There are going to be a total of 6 episodes in the entire show, which is surprisingly small considering how many characters will be in the show. However, there's still a chance that if the show is positively received by fans, it might just be renewed for another season, or even an entire film. What's the timeline Obi-Wan Kenobi will take place in? Something that a lot of fans were confused about regarding the show was the exact timeline it was going to take place in. Well, it's actually not that confusing after all. Obi-Wan Kenobi will take place around 10 years after the events of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Episode 3 was arguably the best film among the prequels, and it was only a matter of time before we would finally see an actual continuation of that story. It's not a bad idea to actually watch Return of the Sith shortly before you watch the show in order to jog your memory. The film is just a bit over 2 hours long, and it's available for streaming on Disney Plus. What are some other things you should watch before Obi-Wan? Aside from just Episode 3, you're gonna need to brush up on a lot of your Star Wars knowledge before you can truly enjoy the show. Thankfully, with Disney Plus, it's rather easy to do so since almost all Star Wars content is already available on the streaming platform. Some of the other things that you need to watch before Obi-Wan Kenobi include Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, where we see the whole Skywalker era begin, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where we go deeper into the story of Obi-Wan, and if you have the time, you definitely need to see all 7 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars. This was a TV show that aired on Cartoon Network Network, Netflix, and Disney Plus from 2008 to 2020. It's not compulsory watching, but it's a great show overall, and it will enhance your Obi-Wan experience by a lot. Kumail Nanjiani's character revealed. Kumail Nanjiani was one of the most high-profile actors that was confirmed to be playing a role in some sort in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. However, his actual role wasn't confirmed for the longest time. However, Disney has recently released a trailer for the show, which finally revealed what character Kumail will be playing. However, he only appears on screen for a few seconds, but those few seconds are enough to prove that he will be playing an entirely original character. Aside from that, we don't know anything else about his character, including his name, abilities, or even his allegiance. But it's great that he won't just be playing some throwaway voice acting role and will actually have a prominent live-action role in the show. Up next, Obi-Wan Kenobi rating. In the past decade, Star Wars has taken a much more mature approach to some of its content. We've often seen their movies be rated PG-13, and even shows like The Mandalorian were rated 14+, while the Book of Boba Fett was rated 12+. This led to a lot of people believing Obi-Wan would follow the same pattern. However, recent leaks suggested that the show will actually be rated 9+, which means we likely won't see any kind of blood, swearing, or mature themes at all. This has certainly disappointed a lot of fans, but maybe it'll bring a whole new generation of children into the world of Star Wars. When will the show be released? Obi-Wan Kenobi has been in the works since 2020, and it would have been released by now had it not been for the COVID-19 pandemic. But after 2 years of some hard work, the show is finally scheduled to be released on May 27th of 2022 in the United States, and everywhere else in the world within a day from that date. But this slight delay also means that it's going to miss the entire Emmy race for 2022. The cutoff date for the 2022 Emmys is from June 1st, 2021 to May 31st, 2022. And since all but one of Obi-Wan's episodes will be released after the cutoff, the show will likely not be nominated for any Emmys this year as everyone had expected. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Are you excited about the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.